Hello, this is Eetu from Diabolo Lounge, and you're watching the VERTAX Genocide tutorial. This is the steps you should take to land your first genocides. So this is not about how you can throw the genocide or any variations, this is just the basic genocides and how you catch it and what's the physics and things behind it. So keep watching. Alright, the VERTAX Genocide. So the prerequisites for this one is you have to be able to accelerate the vertex and you have to be able to do a stopper. So we have a stopper tutorial on our YouTube, I guess, or Patreon, let's see. And you should go learn that if you haven't already, but otherwise you're good to go. One thing about this trick, it's not the easiest one, but I think you should still start learning it quite fast once you start to be able to do vertex. Just because this is the basic foundation for many tricks to come. Like you need this all the time in the currently popular way of playing Diabolo in vertex. Like this is a basic move for that one. Also for this trick, it's a little bit about gear. You can do it with any kind of gear you would like to, but there's something that helps for this trick. So first thing I would recommend you to use is a bearing Diabolo, like this. This is from Kumianka shop. You can buy this from there. It's a Sandia Falcon triple bearing Diabolo. The bearing helps with vertex tricks in general, and it helps you to keep the speed throughout the whole movement. But, for example, I first learned it with the basic non-bearing Diabolo. You should be able to do it with both once you learn it, so doesn't matter, but it helps. So another thing that is important is that your sticks are not too light. So if your sticks are too light, when you're hitting the Diabolo, then you have to hit super hard with the Diabolo to stick to the string. But if your sticks are a little bit heavier side, like the Sandia ones, long Sandia ones, I like these, they're just perfect, like not too heavy, but just heavy enough. So when you do this trick with a little bit heavier sticks, then it helps in the catching that you don't have to do so much extra work yourself and you can let the sticks do the catching. Oh, one thing, also if you want to make your sticks heavier, you can put some tape around the end of the sticks. Like a couple of layers will already make a huge difference. Like you should try it also just to see how it feels like. If you have light sticks, you should wrap some tape around. It will make it just a little bit heavier and it should be a little bit easier. So if you have like aluminum sticks or Sandia carbon fiber and some bearing Diabolos, that would be great, but if you don't, then use what you have. That's the best Diabolo for you right now. So let's get into the actual tutorial. I've broken down this tutorial for 4 steps and this is the step 1. So the step 1 is what happens before you throw the Diabolo. So I'm right-handed, I unwrap my right wrap, then you push the Diabolo back and that's it. And one thing about that is after the stopper, you push the Diabolo with your left hand, not too hard but so that it has speed. And another thing about what happens before the throw, or actually the throw, this is kind of the step 2 already, but yeah, is the J curve. That's what I like to say it is. So you push your Diabolo kind of in a downward J, and then when you're about to throw it, you start to lift it up gently. So that leads us to the step 2 of the whole trick. So step 2 is the throw. As I said before, you should do the J curve, which is kind of lifted up in the end. So it goes like this and then you start to lift it up. But one thing is that you shouldn't throw too high. So the throw is simple by itself. You just push the Diabolo and you release the left stick. So that's all you have to do about the throw. And with your right hand, you lift your right hand just a little bit. So the Diabolo is somewhere around your eye level. If it goes higher than that, then you need to then you have to do multiple genocides, and then it makes the whole thing harder. That said, some people find it easier to do a double genocide rather than single, but I would highly advise for you to learn the single one, because for other tricks you will be able to control it, the Diabolo, when it's low also. And you can also later learn the multiple ones. So, one exercise you should go and do now is you just do the beginning and you throw the Diabolo up in the air and you try to have the Diabolo lift up so it doesn't travel and fly far away. It should lift up and should stay rather close. It shouldn't fly away like this. It should fly up and then fall down. So go do that and remember not to throw too high. Once you've done that, then it's time for the step 3. So the step 3 is to catch the Diabolo. So if you've done the last exercise where you throw the Diabolo and let it drop on the floor, you should kind of have a feeling like when you start to catch it. So now that you've thrown it in the air, now it's time to catch it with the stick. And how you catch it, I'm right-handed, so I use my right hand to catch it. You just point the stick towards the center. And the place to catch it is between the center of the string and the end of your stick you're holding in your hand. If it goes further, you can catch it, but then you need to pull it towards you in the catch. But yeah, I will give you some tips on that maybe later. And this is why I told you to go and learn how to throw it up and down, because you can control the Diabolo that is not going too far away, so it's so much easier to catch when it's closer to the stick. Also, about the catch. When you throw it in the air, the Diabolo, you should have the stick go around you, and before you catch, you should accelerate the stick. But once your stick reaches the Diabolo, so you accelerate the stick here, once it reaches this point and the string hits the Diabolo, then you shouldn't push too much more. If you push more, the Diabolo will send flying, and instead of that, you should just let the stick wrap around the Diabolo. And this is where a lot of beginners make their mistake. Firstly, is that they hit the Diabolo so hard and through the Diabolo that it sends it flying. So basically, this is the stick, it comes here, you accelerate the stick and you hit it here, and then you just let it happen and let the Diabolo fall a little bit there, and then the stick will wrap around the Diabolo. That's how you do it. Also, if you have this issue that the stick doesn't wrap around the Diabolo, then you have to, before you hit the Diabolo, you have to hit it harder. You have to hit the Diabolo a little bit harder for it to wrap around. But now you have the two options, so you can see how it happens, and you should go and practice this as well. Don't think about catching the stick, just throw and catch the Diabolo and try to make the stick wrap around the Diabolo. Okay, now that you've got it, let's move on to the step 4, which is the catching of the stick. So this is the final step to the whole thing. You're already almost there. If you got the exercise where the stick wrapped around even kind of around the Diabolo, then you're already so close to catching it. So let me tell you what you have to do next. Alright, so now when you did the exercise, you just left your stick there and the Diabolo wrapped around. The stick wrapped around the Diabolo. Now, when it starts to wrap around, you pull with your right hand. So you pull just a little bit with your right hand, and then the Diabolo will bounce a little bit up, and it has this momentum of so it doesn't move so much. Don't pull too hard. If you pull too hard, then you end up with the Diabolo on your face. You just kind of you hit the Diabolo, then you lift the stick. Also, when you're doing that, that's the point where you should change the hands of your stick. Okay, that's the point. You shouldn't do it earlier. If you're doing it earlier, then you're not making yourself a favor for the future, because in the future you will have to learn to catch it with your right hand. Also with your left, but for many tricks with your right hand as well. So you hit the stick, you hit the Diabolo, and then you let it wrap around a little bit, and then you pull and change the stick. As this is happening, then the stick that is wrapping around the Diabolo should hit your body. Please learn it this way. You can learn it trying to catch the stick with your right hand. Some people do that. But for future tricks like slapping back from the genocide and everything like this, you need to be able to control it, to catch it to your side. So when you pull the Diabolo a little bit, the stick will come around and hit your side. And as you pulled, you had changed your stick to the other hand. And here is the point, it hits your side, then you can just grab the Diabolo with your right hand. Grab the stick with your right hand. Okay, I know it sounds complicated, but just do as I said. Just hit the Diabolo, you change the stick and pull, and then it hits your side, and then you catch the stick. Okay, and now the stick has wrapped around the Diabolo once, And the way to unwrap this and exit the whole thing, this is the last thing, you just unwrap the Diabolo with your left stick. So you change your left stick, right stick to your left hand, it becomes the left stick. Then you unwrap the Diabolo from the top. Also when you unwrap, it will give the Diabolo speed again to start going around. And that's the key to catching this. Well, I hope it makes sense. Do the exercises before, they really help. Like do the throwing one, do the catching without catching the stick, like when it wraps around, and then you should be good to go. The last part is just remembering what to do with your hands, and you will get that surely down. It becomes automatic once you do it a little bit more. Alright, I guess that's it for the tutorial. Yeah, if you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. Here is my Instagram. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will definitely keep making tutorials monthly. Every month, at least one free tutorial on our YouTube channel with Johan. It depends on how much time we have. And also, if you don't know, we have a Patreon page. You should go check that out. Patreon is monthly based subscription thing. So you can donate us money and you get some more tutorials for yourself. And you get to affect which tutorials we will make. Also, as a bonus, if you join our Patreon now, you will see our long shot video. It has some nice tricks in it, so go do that. And yeah, good practice luck to you and see you in the next tutorial. Bye!